You, Mr. President, and Senator Boyd, my apologies for asking for a no vote here on third reading. I was out of the chamber while this bill was being debated yesterday. Colleagues, my real concern with the bill here is that concerning TANF funds, the bill will eliminate the asset test. So I went online and I was trying to find how people can access TANF funds, and the first thing they do is they can go in and fill out the application. And one of the lines here that needs to be checked is concerning the various assets that are going to be reviewed in determining whether someone should be eligible for temporary assistance to needy families. And so here's one of the forms that's going to need to be changed, and I'll tell you why that's problematic in a second. Proof of resources such as checking, savings, vehicles, CDs, IRAs, stocks, life insurance, burial policies. These are the different types of assets that used to bar people from receiving temporary assistance to needy families. Under this bill, those will be eliminated. Now, a couple years ago, the legislature, I think it was 06, moved the asset test from $2,000 to $15,000. So you could have $15,000 worth of assets and still receive some benefits. Now, there will be no asset test. No asset test. Now, 3 states so far, I've done some research on this, 3 states so far have eliminated the asset test. That's it for TANF. And more states have done it for other programs, but not for TANF, just 3. And it makes sense to, colleagues, it makes sense to be very careful about this, because if we eliminate the asset test, obviously, people that are cash poor but have a lot of assets, like an RV sitting in their front yard, could be eligible to receive temporary assistance to needy families. And I think that's really bad public policy. It's exacerbated by the fact that in order for CBMS to make this change, I mean, they got to go in and change this one little checkbox. In order to make that change, we need to use $1 million, $1 million bucks, that could be going to the very needy families that we're seeking to reach. Now, I would anticipate Senator Boyd will speak to the issue that it will recover the cost if that caseworkers will have less to do because they don't have to do this burdensome asset test. So the cost will take care of itself. We are going to drive caseload with this. That's almost so obvious that we shouldn't have to mention it, but we are going to increase caseload. And if we're concerned about increasing caseload, then we should be concerned about removing an asset test. 3 states have done this. Colorado right now, it bears noting, has the 4th highest number of eligible, TANF eligible people in the United States already, before we go and eliminate this. I can't get there. I got to ask for a no vote. It's bad policy. I understand we're all compassionate about people that are struggling right now, but folks, if people are cash poor but asset rich, I want them to consider selling some of their assets before they dig in my pocket, before they dig in the pocket of people that live in my community. Ask for a no vote.
Answer the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, it certainly does streamline it. I mean, we could really streamline it and just eliminate income tests, asset tests, everything. We could turn the safety net into a hammock if we wanted to. And I asked in committee a specific question. If people have a cash savings account, if they have a savings account, does this eliminate, do they still have access to this if we change the bill, change the law in this fashion? And you indicated to me, Senator Boyd, that you would rather have people access public tax dollars rather than their own savings account, because they might be wanting to use those savings to go to school. Well, indeed, we all want them to go to school, but why does that become my responsibility now? And If we're only dealing with 44 cases, then how do you justify a $1 million expense to go in and change CBMS? Furthermore, obviously caseload is going to increase because people have not accessed these funds because they weren't eligible under the law. Caseload is going to increase. The cost, the direct cost, the immediate cost of $1 million that could be used for the purposes of the program in the first place it is bad enough. It's a bad bill, bad policy. This expands the welfare state. When Bill Clinton a few years ago said that we are ending welfare as we know it, well, we are ending welfare reform as we know it, and we're going exactly the opposite direction. Vote no.
Senator Sanders.